Mrs. Gandhi, can you imagine any circumstances in which you might once again become Prime Minister of India?
I can certainly imagine the circumstances, but the question is whether I want to be or whether I'll agree to be or not.
What would be the terms under which you would agree to be?
No, it's not a question of terms. I don't want to be.
You often talk...
But in politics, you can't make a very categorical answer. I didn't want to be in Parliament, and I told everybody I wouldn't stand. But here I am.
Do you ever feel that you have in any way abused the trust that the Indian people have put in you?
Certainly not.
I'd like, obviously, because that's a question directed towards the state of emergency, which you declared in 1975, when you gave yourself very great powers, and you explained, if I'm right, when you wrote to the President requiring the permission to carry out the state of emergency, information has reached us which indicates that there is an imminent danger to the security of India. What was the precise nature of that danger?
I'm afraid you can't say anything with great precision.
But you talked to your people of a deep and widespread conspiracy of which you were sure they were aware. What conspiracy?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Now the whole subcontinent has been destabilized.
But this was internal upheaval you were warning.
No, it was both. It was supported from outside.
But you required the special powers on the basis of internal upheaval.
No, the question was, had it been only internal with no foreign interference, one could have dealt with it in a much easier way.
But you didn't even mention, with respect, well, you didn't mention.
No, why should one mention everything? No, one doesn't mention everything at any time. Why should one?
Could I?
But it's very obvious when people have followed the doings of international agencies and who was present at India at what time. And what is happening today is borne out everything that we suspected earlier.
Can I put to you the findings of the Shah Commission, which was set up to inquire whether there were any cause to take you to court and have you condemned for excesses, abuses of power? In that report, they quote, on the basis for your requiring this emergency, no evidence whatsoever. Police reports, Home Ministry reports, your intelligence services had given you no evidence whatsoever.
It is not true at all.
What had they given you? What had they told you precisely?
It's not a question they're telling me. I'm Prime Minister. I have the business to know. And all reports do not come through police. They come through other heads of other states and very many other agencies.
Mrs. Gandhi, I must ask you, did you not concoct a threat to the survival of the state in order to ensure your own survival in power?
I'm afraid that's a very rude question, and it's entirely baseless. There's nothing at all to base it on.
Well, the Shah Commission, to which I must refer, because it was a commission set up by the government, it's a judicial inquiry, and he is an eminent judge, says very clearly that the reason for, and if I can quote just this, if I may, you said I've asked you a rude question.
No, but
can I just defend?
No, may I just say one thing?
I would just like to say one thing about what is in the report, if I may, because what he says is that the only evidence he can find is the Allahabad judgment, and on the basis of that, he says thousands were detained and a series of totally illegal and unwarranted actions followed, involving untold human misery and suffering. That's why I put the question. I don't put it out of a desire to be rude to you, Mrs. Gandhi.
In a parliamentary democracy, is a judge competent to override what Parliament has done? The decision I took was ratified by the Cabinet and by the Parliament. It was not only accepted, it was applauded by the entire nation. Had we held the elections in 1976, we would have won hands down. Now, we did not hold the elections because the state of the economy was such at that time. The political situation was all right. But the state of the economy meant that we could see that if we continued, I don't mean us as people, but the policies we were pursuing, if they continued, we could give India a sound and stable economy.
Why was it
Had we held the elections then, this would not have been possible. Therefore, we jeopardized our political future and chose giving political stability economic stability and soundness to India, rather than saying, well, let us be sure of our election.
लड़ाई करें। हर धर्म ने भाईचारा सिखाया है, प्रेम और करुणा सिखाई, और उस धार्मिक रास्ते पे अगर देश चले तो एक नया समाज हम बना सकते हैं। हमें याद रखना है कि ये जब आजादी का दिन है तो आजादी केवल एक दफे पाने से रह नहीं जाती है, हर समय उसके लिए लड़ना होता है।
स्क्वाड्रन लीडर राकेश शर्मा, सारे राष्ट्र का ध्यान आपके तरफ है और हम सब आपको बधाई देते हैं। यह एक ऐतिहासिक कदम है। मेरी आशा है कि इससे हमारा देश अंतरिक्ष के प्रति जागरूक होगा और साथ ही हमारे युवकों को साहसिक कार्य करने की प्रेरणा मिलेगी। प्रश्न तो आपसे बहुत से पूछने हैं, लेकिन थोड़े से पूछती हूँ। ज़मीन पर तो आपकी ट्रेनिंग बहुत कठिन रही और एक वैसा ही वातावरण बनाया गया जैसे कि अंतरिक्ष में होता है। अब आप वास्तव में अंतरिक्ष में हैं, तो क्या वैसी ही हालत है या कुछ अलग लग रहा है?
पहले तो मैं भारत के नागरिक होने के नाते आपको धन्यवाद देता हूँ और मेरे क्रू मेंबर्स भी मेरे साथ आपको धन्यवाद देते हैं आपकी बधाई के लिए। जैसे आपने कहा, हमारी ट्रेनिंग बहुत रवीश मल्होत्रा की और मेरी दोनों की ट्रेनिंग काफ़ी मुश्किल थी, मगर अभी हमें आके पता लग रहा है कि ये जो ट्रेनिंग हमें मिली, ये ट्रेनिंग ज़रूरी थी, क्योंकि जब भी हमारी डॉकिंग मनूवर हुआ है बगैर किसी तकलीफ के, हमें तो ऐसे लगा जैसे कि हम सिमुलेटर में ही बैठे हुए हैं। तो ये हमें सब बताता है कि जो ट्रेनिंग हुई है, कड़ी ट्रेनिंग, इसकी ज़रूरत थी, जिसकी वजह से हम बगैर किसी तकलीफ के सक्सेसफुल डॉकिंग कर पाए हैं।
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
ये मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा।